As you stand quietly in the presence of a single bonsai, it's easy to be captivated by its quiet dignity. The art of bonsai is not just about shaping a tree. It's about cultivating patience, observation, and a deep respect for time's silent work. Each day, the changes are imperceptible. A new bud here, a shift in the color of a leaf there. At first glance, it may seem as though nothing has happened. Yet over the course of months and years, these tiny developments accumulate, culminating in a living masterpiece. In the Western philosophical tradition, there is an idea rooted in the observation of nature, that growth, progress, and transformation do not come from grand gestures or sudden breakthroughs, but from countless small actions accumulated over time. Imagine a European gardener, perhaps someone from the rolling fields of France or a quiet village in Germany. He approaches his bonsai not with haste, but with a gentle hand and a perceptive mind. His philosophy is one of attentiveness, of valuing the subtle over the dramatic. Each morning, our gardener begins his ritual with observation. He studies the tree with the same care a philosopher might examine a profound question. He notes the gentle push of a new shoot, or the slightly brightened green of a maturing leaf. In these moments, he understands that all meaningful change is rooted in patience. As Nietzsche once wrote about the slow, persistent force of nature, so too our gardener embraces the idea that real, sustainable transformation is quiet, subtle, and often invisible at first. There is wisdom in realizing that the grandest achievements are built upon a foundation of many small, almost unremarkable steps. The bonsai does not rush. It grows with what appears to be infinite patience. Each minute adjustment, a slight rotation towards the sun, a careful pruning of an errant branch, echoes the tiny choices we make in our own lives. It is these tiny, often unnoticed moments that collectively shape our character and destiny. When we focus only on large milestones, we risk missing the importance of the incremental. Think of the influence of grass in the western fields, carpeting hills and plains. Though each blade may be small and delicate alone, together they guard the soil, retain moisture, and sustain entire ecosystems. In this way, the underlying philosophy becomes clear. The cumulative power of the small is greater than any single grand event. Our gardener reflects on this as he tends his bonsai. He recalls the words of Aristotle, who believed that excellence is not an act, but a habit. The patient watering, the meticulous inspection for pests, the gentle shaping of the wire, all seemingly minor tasks, but each one vital to the tree's health and beauty. And just as the philosopher shapes his mind by repeated reflection, the gardener shapes his bonsai through steady care. This approach extends far beyond the garden. In life, too, genuine change often begins in humble places. It is forged in early mornings, quiet reflection, consistent effort, and the readiness to adapt. When we commit to the discipline of small improvements, we allow ourselves to be shaped by time in the most remarkable ways. Consider how the tree absorbs the lessons of the seasons. Spring brings fresh growth. Summer, a flourishing fullness. Autumn, the gentle decline and wisdom to let go. Winter, the quiet gathering of strength for what is to come. The bonsai never resists these changes. Instead, it adapts seamlessly, growing not in spite of the small challenges, but because of them. Returning to our scene, the European gardener gently brushes away fallen leaves at the base of the tree. He is not discouraged by setbacks, a snapped branch, or a patch of disease. Instead, he sees these as part of the process, opportunities to adjust and to learn. Each difficulty, no matter how minor, shapes the future of the tree. In this way, growth without struggle is neither realistic nor desirable. It's the overcoming of small hardships that makes the bonsai resilient and beautiful. In the Western philosophical view, as expressed by thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, there is value in accepting what we cannot control and focusing energy on what we can. Our gardener controls his tools, his care, and his intentions, but not the weather or the inner mysteries of his tree's biology. He has learned to find contentment in careful action, letting go of impatience for instant results. we are reminded that progress often goes unnoticed until we look back. If one were to compare a photograph of the bonsai from a year ago to its current state, the transformation would be striking. Yet in the day-to-day, the changes felt almost invisible. So too, in life, our habits may not show immediate results, but over the months and years, they sculpt us into something new. The gardener, reflecting in the quiet of the evening, finds joy not just in the finished appearance of his bonsai, but in the ongoing journey. The calm acquired through tending the tree, the insight gained from careful observation, and the satisfaction of watching growth that could only ever be coaxed into being, but never forced. All these are rewards in themselves. At its heart, the lesson of the bonsai is that change, true, lasting, and meaningful change, rarely comes with fanfare. It is the product of those gentle corrections, of nurturing patience, and of persistent attention to the tiniest aspects of daily life. The art of growing a bonsai teaches us to trust in the process, to appreciate the beauty in gradual transformation, and to recognize that perseverance in small things leads ultimately to greatness. Imagine walking along the paths of an old European garden, the air filled with the soft scent of earth and green life. As you watch the gardener move from tree to tree, there's a sense of deliberate calm in every gesture. There is respect for what is quiet and slow in the world, the rising sun, the falling leaf, the silent yet unstoppable passage of time. With every careful misting or gentle pruning, the gardener participates in a dialogue with nature, one that values harmony over conquest, process over outcome. He does not simply impose his will on the tree, but listens to what the tree needs, shaping it patiently and respectfully. In this, there is a metaphor for how we might best approach our own lives. Progress that is sustainable and meaningful does not come from reckless force, but from small, persistent acts of care and intention. Looking at the roots of the bonsai, entwined and compact, their slow expansion over the years speaks of persistence beneath the surface. Much of what matters happens out of sight, beyond the reach of immediate scrutiny. However, without these unseen roots delving quietly through the earth, the tree above could not survive. It is a reminder that much of our most meaningful growth occurs inwardly, in silence, without applause. The European gardener, influenced by centuries of reflection on nature and being, finds in everyday work the seeds of wisdom. He recalls the teachings of philosophers who urged people to live in accordance with their values, to seek virtue in the present moment, and to build a life through conscious, consistent effort. The tree at his window becomes both a companion and a teacher, showing him that all great things begin small, and that to nurture what grows, whether a plant, an idea, or a habit, is an act of profound importance. Each evening, as the sun sets and shadows lengthen over the tiny forest he has shaped, there is satisfaction in knowing that tomorrow, with its promise of another small increment, will bring subtle but unmistakable progress. The lesson is as enduring as the oldest trees. Honor the process, and trust that the quiet labor of today will shape the beauty of tomorrow. By learning to see and value the smallest changes, we liberate ourselves from the pressure of immediate success. We become patient with ourselves and others, recognizing that transformation is the sum of many unseen steps. Like the gently tended bonsai, our lives flourish most when we value and nurture the quiet, persistent progress that happens beneath the surface, one small act at a time. In this journey, every leaf matters, every root counts, and every moment of silent growth holds the seed of something far greater, waiting to unfold. It is only by appreciating these quiet miracles that we come to understand the true meaning of growth, not just in our gardens, but in the ongoing story of our lives.